Let's jump in. I'm going to switch civs. No, I'm not. That'll ungreen them, and that would be stupid.
Good adaptation. Well scouted.
Yep. Damn, pro. All right, ladies. That was brilliant. I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to game number whatever it is on this Thursday night impromptu SmackDown. Just casting because why not? It's fun. The score is probably 4-1 to Kaiserklein. Let's start with him on Manchac in the south of the map. And the colour... Wow, we haven't seen Manchac in ages. I feel like a bit of a nostalgia. In a tournament, especially the most recent ones, we just stick to those 9 maps, which is probably fine. Probably fair enough. But we get to see all the other maps that exist in the game as well. Here we have Kaiserklein playing as the Germanies again. Explorer going to go straight past a 20 coin treasure, onwards and upwards to this side of the map, this little island, this place where we may find some bigger, more interesting treasures, such as 110 wood. Going to be going for that right away. Equally though, his opponent has come across 80 food. Those elephants will be going on to those alligators momentarily. Here is the Indian player in the colour red. Nice. Alright then. So, Manchac as a map is this crescent-shaped thing in the middle of water with a trading post in the middle. Sort of separates the map up a bit. Can create some quite interesting unit plate pathings. I don't know. Something like that. This is a 3 trading post map with no livestock and fairly sort of reasonable normal treasures. Am I missing any key features of this map?
There's 6 berry bushes in your base.
Huh. Alright. On the front,
so you usually have access to 2 additional hunts in after your starting hunt. And then after those, if you can't secure either the bottom side of the map or the top side of the map, you kind of end up getting stuck on the 6,000 food worth of berries. Your base, usually not super relevant most games, but, you know, it's more berries than you have on most maps, at least.
Okay, so this map is, you know, extra hunt in base, or near base, and berries
Actually,
in base.
Kaiserklein is missing a gold mine, but we're not going to tell him about that.
He is missing a gold mine. Let's restart.
He doesn't. No. He doesn't need to know.
It's fine. 75 wood gonna be. Oh, he's heard you.
Oh.
I want my gold mine. Give me now. Except you can't.
I thought for a second he was gonna mention the gold mine.
Nah.
It's okay. Turk needs the handicap for now. Needs to catch up in this series of infinite games.
Kaiser's a good sport. He wouldn't listen to the stream.
Anyway, so German versus India. India's a pretty it's a civ that's been considered pretty strong lately, and it's a civ that Turk is pretty comfortable with. However, Germany can often be a pretty difficult matchup for India, I think, just because they have a really easy time holding any early pressure that India tries to put on. And they have a much stronger early fortress age. So we'll see what Turk chooses to go for. I think he'll probably still go for the sort of forward aggro style of play. And having played this matchup with Kaiserklein a lot as well, I think he'll be totally comfortable against that. However, the lack of a gold mine may prove interesting in the early stages of Fortress if Turk chooses to play very aggressively. We'll have to see.
Indeed.
100 XP for Germany. That's going to be...
spoon bill worth 100 nice. XP.
What is a spoon bill?
I don't know. A receipt spoon bill. Wow, that's a lot of villagers trying to cram themselves around that last remaining hunt. Just gonna pop those.
He's actually just given up on that hunt. He's like, all right, time to gather the berries for the last bit of resources.
Age up there, and that's fair enough. Now can start, bringing those hunts in. They're sending out a villager to get this nearby hunt. Start bringing that back. But it doesn't really matter because it's just going to be switching a few villagers onto wood anyway to get market upgrades, that kind of thing.
It's going to be Karni Mata for India, actually, not the Agra Fort like I had predicted, so I clearly have no idea what I'm talking about. But, yeah, this Kaiser's not going to have any idea what Turk is really up to for a while. He has to construct this trading post at home. He's not going to be scouting for forward Agra Fort or Karni Mata or anything like that. So his build could potentially be geared towards, it could be geared towards the wrong sort of playstyle. He might be looking to stay H2 with Crossbow Pike for a little while. We'll see. He is moving some villagers to gold now, but he still has a lot on wood, so... Okay, he's getting Placer Mines, so he's definitely going to be trying to do something Fortress-related, looks like. I wonder if Turk is...
Wait, why is Placer Mines an indication of something Fortress-related?
Well, he doesn't have Gang Saw. Not Fortress-related.
He's figured it out. Can we get some smiley faces in the chat? I'll start it off.
Anyway, what was he saying? It's not an indication of Fortress play per se, I guess, but usually if you're going to be making units that require gold like Ulans most of the time, you're probably going to want to end up in the Fortress Age at some point. So that's just my general assumption based on the fact that he's gathering gold, sorry. Or based on the fact that he's got Placer Mines. So I wonder if Turk is going to go for a stable or a barracks. Barracks, okay.
Oh, that's why he's upset about the lack of mine. He's going for a saloon.
Oh, I see. I see. Of course. Why do we never check Kaiser's deck when he plays Germany?
Yeah, that explains why he's upset about it. I guess he's already committed to this since he picked the deck a while ago, and you can't really go back. It's got all this mercenary stuff in it, so he has to play it out. And having one fewer mine makes him a bit more vulnerable and just means there's less gold on the map in general for those funding of the mercenaries. It doesn't look like iamturk's seen it yet. He's not going to be anticipating that unless, of course, he's checked his opponent's deck, in which case he'll see it's a very real possibility. But for so far, looks like India are going to go fairly eco-heavy here. These two Ulans are going to try and cause him a little bit of some problems there. Looks like, oh, village are going to go down. Medicine Men, or whatever it is on the way in, but not quite ready yet. So that Vill was a little bit vulnerable and just going to try and... Does take out the elephant there. I think, though, these two Ulans dealt with. The threat is no longer there. But the point is, India, fairly eco-heavy at the moment. Despite losing a villager, has got both distributivism and the foreign logging as well as the Kani Mata. So lots of echo, lots of boominess going on here. And if he can... So that's the story of India. Renegados coming across the map here. So not mercenaries, but certainly outlaw, certainly saloon-based units here. We'll see if Kaiser can get any damage done. The trouble with these is they do a lot of damage, but you need to micro them very, very well. Otherwise, you just end up wasting damage when you overkill something by absolutely loads. These are also, I think, by the looks of it, musketeer... No, they are skirmisher-style units, so they'll do okay versus Gurkha. However, Ulans will do even better versus Gurkha.
Yeah, and I don't think... Okay, sentries are popping out, going to be forcing Ulans back. So the Renegados aren't going to be too effective against this. Going to get snared by the sentries as well. He's just going to trade those Renegados off for as much damage onto those Gurkhas as possible, it looks like. I wonder if Turk chose to go for a Karni Mata because he'd looked at Kaiser's deck, maybe?
That's interesting.
And that's why he started with Gurkha as opposed to Sepoy, which I think you would normally see out of an Indian player against Germany, because you're going to be expecting Ulans, right, most of the time. But he did go for the Gurkha, so I think maybe he was anticipating this sort of build out of Kaiser. Maybe saw the deck, saw that there was no way he was going to be doing something normal. So it's a good adaptation for him so far. And yeah, the Kaiser's going to be hitting up to Fortress soon, and the first gold mine is going to be gone. The first gold mine in your base is only a tin mine, so it only had 1,500 gold on it. So this mercenary build is definitely not going to be as effective as he maybe would like. He's going to have... How much gold does he have on that other silver mine? So there's about 3,500 gold left on his half of the map before he has to look to try and get control over this these gold mines here. I think he'll probably have enough to do that. So we'll have to see. Turk is also gathering up to age himself.
Yeah. He's got that.
What mercenaries are in the saloon? Swiss Pikemen and Ninja.
How can you? Oh, you hold alt. Yeah, I see. Oh, no, it just tells you.
Yeah. A's UI just tells you.
Yeah, nice. Swiss. So the ninjas probably what he's going to be training. They're actually quite reasonable units against most things, especially mercenaries. And of course they've got
ninja. Yeah, are ninja tagged as mercenaries?
I don't know. I think so. So they do bonus damage against themselves.
I think they are as well. Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's funny. They're actually they're actually not a bad unit at all. But they've got quite good HP and quite reasonable damage.
They're pretty strong. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not good against anything in particular, but they just do have good stats. Well, they are good against something in particular. It's called mercenaries. But yes, that remains to be seen. So his opponent looks like Kaiser is now in the Fortress Age. It looks like a few Swiss pikes are going to be trained to begin with to defend perhaps the Renegados. Let's take a look at their stats. 325 HP, 22 hand attack. A very buff pikeman for sure. These two Ulans really forcing a lot of those villagers off the mine there. Are going to be quickly dispatched by those Gurkha. But, yeah, that's awkward. There are mines on the map. Smiley. Can we get some more smiley faces?
Improved mercenaries coming out. Alright, so it looks like he is going to be choosing to go for the Swiss pikes over the mercenaries. And that's not that bad either. Like they're so strong actually with improved mercenaries, 390 HP and 26 attack, and they only cost 160 coin. So it's a pretty respectable amount of stats you get for that price.
That's fair.
However, there is a lot of Gurkha against a lot of heavy infantry, so they're not going to be super effective yet. He's going to need to diversify his unit composition a little bit somehow. Or at least wait until he has significantly more Swiss pikemen. 5 more coming out now for a total of 15.
Damn, he's gobbling up those mines.
Looks like it's going to be the Taj Mahal for India. So it's going to have access to that ceasefire ability. Give him an additional 800 coin he can dump on units when he hits up to Fortress. However, he does not have any military buildings other than this barracks yet. And aging with the Taj Mahal means that getting extra military buildings and getting your disciplined upgrades is going to be a little bit tricky. So he may be stuck with, colonial age units for a little while in early Fortress. Either way, I think he does have enough Gurkha to hold this.
Yeah, there's a lot of anti-infantry there. Gurkha are going to be quite good against the Swiss pikemen, and they... if they can get into hand combat, they'll do reasonable damage, but there's quite a distance to cover there, and even the Gurkha in hand do have 6x2 versus them. Infantry just not really willing to get too close. There is, however, a proxy church. Interesting.
Yes, this is something Kaiser does a lot when he does this build. Not necessarily a proxy church, but he builds the church and sends the church cards so he can get the extra speed on that infantry, especially if he's going for hand infantry like Lands or Swiss pikemen, and then it'll make it a lot easier for his units to get into combat with those Gurkha. It'll make them actually a lot like basically a Rodolero with like 6 times the stats.
Look at these hussars. They're gardeners coming up to the mine that was here, only to find that it's gone. They do find a villager, so that's all right there. Looks like though
these villagers are going to be spotting.
There, they've been spotted, and there's gardeners on the way back now to deal with it. Look, Gurkha
that's
coming
gonna
as well.
That's going to be a problem. He's going to lose a lot of villagers, for sure.
Yeah, go, come on, Swiss pikemen, send them straight to your opponent's base. Oh my goodness, that's dirty. That's filthy. Oh, that's so many villagers. He was so few. It's just the trouble is the mines. It was.
While he's killing those vills, you have to look at the siege on these Swiss pikemen. I don't think they're walking towards the base right now, but he could actually have walked towards the base and maybe killed quite a few buildings with that. But the Hackapels are in. This is going to be really, really scary. I actually don't see any way he can hold this with this army composition.
145 hit points. How? Oh, that's how you hold it. Ceasefire.
But it's not enough. He doesn't even have a stable up yet. He just got a batch of Gurkha out. He has literally nothing to kill these these hackapels.
Kaiser doing a good job keeping his units in basically combat range, just following these units back in. Is he going to try and take them through the gate? That's a clever move, but I don't think... actually, it looks like it'll work. Not all of the Gurkha are through, but being on the other side of that wall does mean that the hackapels with the super high hand damage, and of course the Swiss pikes are no longer in hand combat, that was really effective.
That was pretty much as good as it could have went, I think. Yeah, I was expecting this army to just disappear as soon as the ceasefire ended. However, he does actually manage to hold and has a significant number of Gurkha remaining, so that was pretty good by him. Kaiserklein, of course, being very frustrated.
Can we get some Kaiser rages? That should be an emote.
I think these Swiss pikemen, if he's not going to kite with these Gurkha, could still clean this up, though.
Yeah, I
Those
mean,
Gurkha
they still
don't
have a
do
lot of...
enough damage yet, really, to deal with that super effectively.
It's probably not an overly cost-effective fight here, but they do good damage once... 26 is still, you know, almost as much as a Hussar.
Yeah, I mean...
They are doing damage.
They're working well enough, to be perfectly honest. 2 Ulans coming in as well.
It's hard to know. You so rarely see something like Swiss pikemen on the board.
Yeah, another 5 Zambraks coming out. That's gonna give him a little bit more control over the situation, but I think these Gurkha are still gonna get cleaned up.
Yeah, do they actually one-hit Zams? I think they do. Yeah, they do. They just walk up, one poke, and they die.
My God.
It's just like a spear through the heart, and he's dead.
26 times 5 is apparently a lot of damage.
Yeah, that's unsurprising. Okay, so loses.
And this is so now that the smoke has cleared, where's India's resources? He's pretty much forced to use berries in this one gold mine with 700 coin remaining.
Equally though, Kaiser is on his last mine.
That's also true. We're gonna see the mass transition to plantations. Well, he kind of has control over this gold mine, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. I guess he can go up there. He's also, he's already gathered 300 of it. It's nice to have a vill just there randomly. Gurkha, the red, it's very close to the red player space, so he might be able to recapture the control of that mine. But I don't know. Has he really got control over this mine? Anyway, we're going to see plantations at some point, and that could be India's opportunity, because the pressure will let up from Kaiserklein as he has to transition over to those very expensive buildings, and there's going to be no units being trained during that time. And that should allow him to get back out on the map, start gathering from hunts again, and perhaps he can recapture this mine nearby. But mine about to be gobbled up, only 200 left in there. And that will be it in terms of units for Kaiserklein.
Yeah, doesn't have any additional mercenaries in queue. I think he's going to save that gold for now for a mercenary shipment. He's probably going to sell some resources to get that on the way relatively soon. Probably Jaegers, I would have to guess, will be a pretty good addition to this composition. Urmi out now as well. So actually... Turk actually has some time here to get back into the game and get some damage done with these units. He's probably got an idea that the gold mines are running thin for Kaiser. Ooh, those Zambraks getting caught a little bit. Going to be dropping.
He was using
those.
Can he pull with the ninjas? Hot damn!
Do Urmi even win against Swiss pikes?
They're not mercenaries, so they don't. It's not like against Swiss pike.
Against Swiss pikes, yeah.
Sorry, I thought you meant did the ninjas do bonus damage.
No. I think they do win against Swiss pikes, but it's not super easy. Going to be finding all the villagers, forcing them to run away. Going to be getting the outpost as well. Ninja is going to be going into stealth mode. We're going to try to get on top of these Gurkhas.
Where are they?
Get a snare off pretty quickly, looks like.
That'll be fun. Few Ulans coming in there. It's also bearing in mind he can... abuse the pull trick with ninjas with the extra Tilly's discipline speed.
Oh my gosh, they're so fast.
They are very quick. What are they?
The Urmi, however, are in combat now. Do ninja count as heavy infantry? Yes, they do. So they do bonus against the ninjas. Looks like he is going to hold this. Yeah. I keep expecting the Gurkha to just disappear, to be honest, whenever this happens. Oh my gosh, even the Jaegers are so fast. With Tilly's disciple.
Is it disciple or is it discipline?
Or discipline, sorry. I don't know why I always say Tilly's disciple.
Tilly's disciples. Mate, this is where we enrage Gibson by using the ninjas to pull the Jaegers forward and then attack move. In fact, this is what's happening anyway.
Yeah. India out of gold now as well.
Alright, well, okay. What's going on? He's basically every villager in base. He's got gang saw in.
Spies. He got the spies from the British consulate.
Okay,
which is not going to do anything because they have no HP.
Yeah, they need a bit of a buff, those poor spies, don't they? They should cost 10 gold each. That'll be fine.
I think now that he's forced him off this gold mine, though, he's safe to transition to plantations like pretty easily, because India's gonna have to transition to rice paddies himself.
Oh yeah, he has
if
no
he
gold.
wants to continue making units.
That's interesting. That's funny how you gobble all the mines up, but your opponent also doesn't have any mines, so that's fair enough.
He's actually just going to be leaving the spies on stealth mode here to watch over any villagers that might be on this gold mine, any raids from ninjas. I guess that will allow him to sort of pick his engagements too, you know, if there's a lot of mercenaries raiding there, he may choose to just keep them stealthed and avoid combat that way.
Ninjas reveal
stealth.
Oh,
that's right, they're also a stealth unit, so they do reveal stealth. I'm stupid, sorry.
Well, they're so often, it's so inoften.
They killed one.
You don't really see that very often, do you? Yeah, well, the spy still does bonus damage against the person, against the ninja, which is kind of weird.
3 Mahouts has arrived.
Quite an unusual game.
I wonder if he's just got to be training Mahouts at this point without access to a lot of gold.
It's worth pointing out he can't actually pull because the massive Jaegers is bigger than the spies, but we knew that anyway. Those Urumi going to be picked off. Lots of Mahouts, you're right. Could be quite effective versus if you can get them.
There's not a lot of anti-cav, so yeah, this could definitely work out.
A land grab coming in, I like that.
I think he will be pulling some of these Jaegers away, maybe.
Oh, just
no.
like
I think he's gonna be trying to fight with the ninjas here. They're gonna be not super effective against these really tanky Mahouts. However, it's gonna buy enough time for these Jaegers to get away.
Yeah, the speed is quite helpful.
The additional speed from Tilly's discipline is probably going to result in those Jaegers being just fine.
Looks like plantations are now coming down. He's got land grab in, which is he saved up enough. He just kept saving wood, not going to build anything. Then gets land grab in, which really does make quite a big cost reduction on the plantations. Is now going to start slamming them down. So unit production will resume fairly soon, which is going to be good. Minutemen coming out of this town centre here. The Mahouts caught up. I didn't even notice how they managed to do that. I guess they still have 6 speed.
Yeah, they are still quite a bit faster. They are gonna get picked off. Ooh, that's a lot of Jaegers dropping to the last hit.
Okay, so at this
there's no more, and there's still no additional units in queue for Kaiser yet. He has not begun training any mercenaries or anything like that. So this is a really tough position for him now. It was looking so good earlier in the game when he got like that good surround with the Hackapels and the Swiss pikemen. I swear I thought the game was just over, but no, the gold mines definitely slowed down Kaiser's build by more than a few minutes for sure.
Yeah, that lack of mines is really he's only just got the plantations up.
So he has a shipment on the way right now, actually. And these Gurkha are sitting pretty close to a shipment point. I don't know how close the shipment is, but 9 Ulans or something like that could be pretty scary. Does he have that in his deck? No, he doesn't even have that in his deck. It has to be Black Riders, I guess. Or maybe an upgrade of some sort. It must be a gold upgrade, actually. We'll see.
Artillery Foundry.
Artillery Foundry. That's going to be a pretty reasonable response to this massive Gurkha, I suppose.
Yeah, fine. Also, you know, all he can make is Swiss pikes, which aren't great against, and ninjas, which also aren't great against Gurkha. So being able to make falconets and possibly defend them with Swiss pikes seems reasonable to me. Does also have textile mill coming in, so going to be upping that gather rate on the plantations there. Looks like those last few villages on this mine are now going to go down, and that church is also going to go down as well. Falconet's now in queue, Mitoe.
Okay. And that could be pretty challenging for Turk to deal with. Does Turk have any economic upgrades in his deck? Yeah, he has mill upgrades in his deck. So he's not going to be sending those anytime soon, but just wanted to check. So moving into the later stages of this game, if Kaiser manages to hold this push right here, it looks like he'll be in a pretty advantageous position just because his deck has a lot more late game upgrades. A few villagers going to be dropping to those Gurkha. He's also got this additional town center up and stuff like that, so Kaiser's in a pretty good position to be set up for the later stages of the game as long as he can survive here.
See if he can. A couple of 3 falconets now out there. There's enough mercenaries to... Ooh, they are setting up into limbo mode, or is it volley mode? I think it's volley mode. Not going to get a shot off. Those Gurkhas going to get on out of there. We'll see what units Turk decides to train in response to the falconets. Seems like
he might have to wait for siege elephants if he wants to be super safe. But that is, of course, very slow. It'll give Kaiser a lot of time to continue massing these Swiss pikemen. Unfortunately for Turk, he also does not have green jackets in his deck for his Gurkha that gives him the 3 times multiplier against heavy infantry. So his Gurkha are never going to really like melt Swiss pikes maybe as much as they would like. Town center is definitely not going up.
I think we are now transitioning into the long game hunt. There are no mines left. Oh, what a volley! Yeah, that town center definitely isn't going up.
It's amazing how scary. Like, he's got an army of like 60 units, you know, like 50 Gurkha and a handful of other units, and he's still afraid of an army of like 12 units or like 15 units.
They're pretty crazy units, though.
They are really strong, for sure.
How much pop is a Swiss pikeman? 2 pop.
2 pop.
Is that fair? Probably. Well,
it's not like you can mass them very easily. And Germany's really the only civ that can maybe make use of them effectively. And you got to remember too, they don't scale after this. Like, if they ever get into industrial, they're never gonna, you know, they're not gonna be any stronger.
Okay, well, let's see what he can make happen then. That's quite a few falconets. I always worry though. Falconets seem quite vulnerable if your opponent can surprise you with a surround. And as you said, siege elephants seems like the appropriate thing to make. They can start taking down falconets quite easily.
Yeah, I think siege elephants would be quite challenging for this composition to deal with. Does he have any? No, he doesn't. He's fully committed to the mercenaries. He's not got any additional military buildings or anything like that. So he's stuck with Swiss pikes and ninjas for the moment.
That's probably fair enough, though, given how like invested he is in gold and plantations.
My point is though that if siege elephants do come out, actually going to be going for a base trade. But if siege elephants were to come out, he wouldn't really have any sort of answer to them. He'd just lose the falconets for sure. But yeah, going to be going for a base trade, not going to be, oh wait, oh no, the siege elephants in combat with the Swiss pikemen, no.
Oh, brutal. They're definitely, they're cavalry, aren't they? So they're going to be absolutely torn apart by Swiss pikes, and that...
They actually don't get... Sorry, they don't get the heavy cavalry tags. So
it doesn't matter though, because the Swiss pikemen
it doesn't matter because
tearing
Swiss
through
pikemen are
them.
insane.
Yeah, and the falconets are going to be surviving there to live on another day. But the base trade seems appropriate, right? Those falconets, if he wants to come back and defend, which is by the looks of it what he's intending to do, he's going to have to walk across all the map with the slow falconets. Meanwhile, these units here just going to bell up all the villagers. These plantations are now not producing anything. However, the only trouble with iamturk's army here is that it doesn't really have all that much siege. You know, just Zambaraks and Gurkhas. It's going to take a long time to bring down a town centre. Falconets and the Swiss pikes now arriving here, trying to evacuate the villagers. A ceasefire just in time. Okay, that's good. And now he can get out of here. I like how though he just ungarrisoned those spies, turn them back into visible mode. It made his army look a lot bigger when they finally... And now just going to run away?
Yeah, that seems to be the game plan. And I think Turk definitely came out ahead in that trade, well, aside from losing the siege elephants. Siege elephants were kind of key to making this composition work. He might just try to fight these falconets. I'm not sure if that's really going to work out. Okay, Swiss pikeman going into cover mode. It is actually going to work, it looks like. The Swiss Pike's going to be trying to zone the
Oh,
Zambrax.
the Zambrax, they got the Swiss Pikes on top. Oh my goodness, what the... Jesus Christ! Oh, that was eventful. Holy, no wonder he was avoiding them. Just one poke death. Oh my goodness. And now the cannon's just going to clean up these disciplined Gurkha, and the Swiss pikemen going to get on top there as well. He took down most of the cannons, but lost his entire army doing so. And now it looks like Kaiser going to be very pleased. However, there are, I didn't notice, a few other units in his base.
Yeah, he left behind the Redcoats when he called the ceasefire there, split up his army a little bit to apply a bit of pressure to the plantations. Kaiser couldn't afford to split off any units to deal with the Redcoats because he needed every unit he had to defend the Falconets. So he did manage to get a good pickup there, and he's ahead in economic unit population by quite a bit as a result. But yeah, actually, you know, that trade was definitely bad for India. But I think now that the smoke is cleared. Sorry?
The Zambrax is melting. It's just
yeah, it was insane.
It was brilliant.
But I think now that the smoke has cleared, India has a better economy, and as long as he can keep Kaiser away from his own base, especially on this top sort of little island here, then he can potentially mass enough units to pull out an advantage in this game. But that being said, Ninja's getting in combat. He needs to drop back the ones that are being snared.
He needs to definitely avoid the Swiss Pikes. We saw what happened last time. But yes, you're right. I mean, he really needs to stop Kaiserklein from going anywhere near his base. He's got, look, Falconets. Oh, he did. I'm sure he's going to be training more. Certainly got one in queue there. And Swiss Pikemen. These two units just have so much siege. He absolutely needs to do everything he can to keep Kaiser away from those buildings, because these units will absolutely tear through them and will just make short work of them, and that's not something he can allow to happen. He has to keep Kaiser busy. He has to keep him on his toes. He has to keep him away ultimately from those buildings, so that his superior economy, if we look at that recalculated economic unit population here, 74 villagers there compared to his opponent's 44. So India decisively ahead, and that is going to net him the long-term advantage. So it's on Kaiser here to see if he can make use of this siege-heavy army, if he can, capture or trap, so to speak, some more of those Zambaraks and get some really effective trades out of these units.
Yeah, a couple more Falconets being added in, so that's probably going to be go time. He'll probably push with these units. 7 Gurkha just sort of watching out for units on the edge of Kaiser's base. Not going to be seeing anything, though. Zambrax's also doing a little bit of scouting. Just maybe wants to make sure that, he wants to keep tabs on what Kaiser's up to. However, the Swiss Pikes have found the units on the hunt. It's going to be killing quite a few vills here, probably.
I think there might be a delay. I'm not sure. It's really weird. The chat seems to be quite slow. But yes, here we go. Lots of siege units here. Where is his army? It's on the other side of the map here, harassing some villagers there. And we see some Gurkha now coming back quickly to deal with this. But looks like Castle going to go down. Rice Paddy going to go down. Those, by the looks of it, Swiss Pike not wanting to go too far away from the Falconets. Definitely going to try and keep it safe. Is he just going to run away now? Hit and run. I like it. He knows the Gurkha are coming back. Just going to get out of there. Or is he rendezvousing with more Falconets?
Looks like that's the case.
Yeah, okay.
This is such a tricky map, too, if you get forced off of, any part of the land. Like, if he is forced off of this top island with some villagers, or even half the island, like, where can he really place rice paddies safely? Like, his home base is a little bit congested. It's a little bit hard to place rice paddies safely there. Can't place it in the water or anything like that, so... He definitely needs to hold this this island no matter what. The town center is going down. Man, if he hadn't lost those siege elephants, he'd be in such a great position right now. Unfortunately, though, he just doesn't have an answer for these Falconets. He's building a castle now, so I'm assuming that's going to be for... This town center is going to get denied. I'm assuming that castle is going to be for siege elephants, but I think it might be a little bit too late. Second town center is going to go down, and now that once that's down, All these villagers here are going to be in peril. Going to be taking a shot at the Gurkha, not going to be getting much off of that volley. That poor villager. Getting hit, destroyed.
Yeah, looks like Pike's going to get on top of these villagers now on these 2 rise paddies up here. There is one castle they could garrison in, but honestly, I think Turk's doing the right thing. Don't bother with that castle up against an army of Swiss Pikes and Falconets. That's really not going to save you. Run towards the Gurkha. That seems like the appropriate thing to do.
However,
volley of Falconets is going to make short work of the Gurkha here, but nothing. This is now vulnerable. These 2 rise paddies and the buildings up here now going to be quickly eliminated, and this section of the map is lost.
There is 1 siege elephant in queue at that castle. Is it going to go down before it pops out? It might. Down to 800 HP. Yeah, that's and I think without that siege elephant popping, this could just be the end of the game.
Yeah, especially losing all those villagers there. It looks like Kaiserklein's regained his the economic population is now fairly even again. India has lost that big advantage, and Kaiser also represents the more military as well as just a stronger mass in general. Look at all these falconets guarded so well by Swiss pikemen. It's going to be really hard to break into that.
Yeah, and he is reconstructing the castle. Siege elephants is absolutely the only answer to this unit composition, I think. But they're just going to take so long to get any siege elephants out to deal with this. Like, he's going to lose probably like almost half this base in the time it takes him to get siege elephants out, maybe more. Fencing school coming in for Kaiser just to train mercenaries more quickly from the one building.
From the one building that makes them, yeah. That's fair enough, I suppose. Has he got the church tech as well for it?
No, he needs to be an industrial, unfortunately, for that.
Right. Okay. But
oh, these volleys.
Yeah, it's so disgusting. Like, what do you do here? There's not a lot you can do.
There's not much left that India can do. He has 2 siege elephants in queue. I don't know if 2 siege elephants is even enough. You kind of need like 5 at this point.
He does have 1,400 export. Is there any European nations that will offer culverins, like the Portuguese? Questions.
I don't remember. He can get falconets from the British consulate, but I think you can only get 1 for 800, and then you need 1,600 if you want to get, I think, 3, which is not going to be enough for sure. There are 2 siege elephants out now. He needs to be taking shots at those falconets relatively soon for sure if he wants to remain in this game. But the problem is, like, once he reveals the siege elephants, does it even matter? Maybe Kaiser just right-clicks with all the Swiss pikemen and, like, AFKs.
Charges at them, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you just, like, move the cannons. Yeah, just get the cannon. Oh, no, he's going to kite back. Okay, maybe if he can kite them off. Yeah, the Swiss pikes are just going to run at them.
Even if he clears up this whole army, though, it's going to be really difficult to back into this game. All right, Swiss pikemen are charging in.
They're just chasing after
Gonna be getting on to those siege elephants. They're gonna go down for sure. One more siege elephant popping out from the castle, going to be 1v10ing these falconets. And no, it's gonna be the game.
GG. All right then.
That was pretty close. I think if he hadn't lost those 2 siege elephants during the base trade, he would have been in a really solid position.
That was we got a good game at the end there. That was pretty fun. So congratulations.
Always fun when Kaiser goes mercenaries. Because he commits very hard to it too. Like, you know, like once he runs out of gold mines, he's like, I'm not making other units. I'm still gonna make mercenaries.
Yeah.
He's gonna spend 5 minutes transitioning to plantations and then continue making mercenaries for the rest of the game.
Yeah, he literally sent 4 cards dedicated to building plantations and gathering coin.
Yeah. It's a fun build for sure.
It was a fun build. I'm pretty exhausted after that though. 2 hours. I've lost all my energy. I don't have the same energy like I had at the beginning. But yes, thank you very much for watching. That was Thursday Night Smackdown. Before you go, I would, if you don't mind, chat, I have a favour to ask. So I'm about to release a video, and what I'd like you to do, in order for it to be more favourably recognised in the YouTube algorithm, is for me to post it in the chat, and you all click on it. That would be really helpful, even if you don't intend to watch it. Basically, it's podcast number 4. Me and Zuta recorded some more audio, and I had that professionally edited by my friend that does audio stuff. He does it for me on the cheap, so that's very kind of him. And yeah, it's a good conversation. We talk about mostly, basically life, trying to catch up. Zuta got married. He talks about that. I talk about my plans for the future, Age of Empires related, and how I intend, what I'm thinking about doing. And also we talk about Saturday SmackDown. So video is now public. I will link it in the chat. I'm gonna go full sellout here, if you don't mind. Open it up, leave it muted if you don't intend to listen. Just let it play in the background so that YouTube gives it some watch time. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good conversation. It came out quite well, so I'm quite pleased with it. And if you want to catch up with Zuta and I, that would be cool. So here it is. But thank you very much for watching, and I guess we'll see you all again probably next week or maybe the week after. I'm not sure, but it will be Sunday SmackDown.